everybody doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
What'd you do with the extra few days?
What did I do personally, or what did we do with our guys?
Well, with you, I assume you probably just weren't sitting around the sofa all weekend, so.
No.
What did you do to take advantage?
Well, Friday, we came in here as a staff, knocked out the game and got a jump start on the Browns. So that's pretty much it.
Is it like too early in the season to be doing any like grand self-scouting sort of things?
No, I think we're constantly doing that. So it does give you a little bit more time to kind of watch. I've watched our game at least 5 times by now. So you get a good feel for kind of what you've been putting out there on tape.
Now, you said after the game that despite how well you played, you'd have plenty of ammo for the guys when they came back. What did you see when you watched those 5 times to, I would say, get after them about, but talk about?
Yeah, I would say that there was we went into the game, we knew that the penalties were going to be a big part of the game, and we had far too many. So obviously the first drive, it negated a touchdown, and then we had a couple. We talk about pre-snap penalties. You don't want any of those. We had a couple pre-snap penalties. We had a couple penalties on special teams that really played a big impact on field position. And then I think just really in every phase, there's a lot to there was a lot to like, but there's a lot to work on. I thought offensively, just the level of detail needs to be better in regards to making sure that you are maximizing every opportunity that you get. And there's just, it can be one guy on every play and it could mess up the whole drive. So defensively, I thought for, 3 quarters we played really solid football, but you got to, when we have the ops, you want to close out the game the right way. And then on special teams, I think we could all agree that there's a lot more to improve upon really in every phase of defense. So those guys, we went through it today, and we'll look to improve upon those, because I thought for the score to be 17-10 in the fourth quarter, I mean, it's a one-possession game, and I felt like for the most part, we were in control of that game. Now, what was good about it was when they closed it to 17-10, all 3 phases did what we needed to do in regards to the offense going down and scoring, the defense getting the turnover on downs. Then we got stopped, but McManus came in and made a big field goal. So there were some positives as well.
And when you look at a guy like Myles Garrett, the impact he's already had in the couple games they played, where do you start with him in terms of your preparation?
Yeah, he's a game wrecker. Yeah, you've got to be really intentional about what you're trying to get done, because if you have a bad matchup, forget about it. This guy's going to make it. It can make it ugly in a hurry. So you got to be really conscious of where he is aligning, first of all, but also what you're asking your guys to do.
So if you don't have a guy like Zach, Tom, how do what do you do?
Well, it's not like we're just going to throw in the towel and give up. So we'll come up with something.
In your review of last week's game with Belton and Kennard, just what did you see from their performance?
Yeah, I thought both those guys went and did what they needed to do. Obviously, Belton played the majority of the game, and outside of the one penalty, I thought he played really solid football. He was physical. He was straining. There was great effort. So I thought for his first game, especially, a game where there's really no practice. I mean, you walk through, but if there's no live practice, I thought he went in there and did a really outstanding job.
The way you guys were able to get after Daniels and then Keyshawn, obviously 5 PBUs on the back end, how well do you feel like you guys married the Russian coverage?
Yeah, it was outstanding. I mean, he had 17 yards rushing. I think they had 2 explosive plays. One of those was outside the pocket where our coverage broke down. But I thought, all in all, if you're playing football like that from a defensive perspective, you're probably going to have a pretty good day.
How long do you think it'll be without Zach? Obviously, it doesn't seem like you're putting him on IR, but could you get him back on Sunday?
Yeah, potentially. We'll see where he's at. Just talking to him, I know he feels a lot better than he did. And we'll just see how he progresses throughout the course of the week.
Not a game planning question, but how do you replace all the things that Jaden can do for you?
Yeah, it's always tough. He's kind of a spark plug for us. He does a lot of different things. I just love the way he plays the game, the energy he brings on a daily basis. He's tough, he's gritty. So we're definitely going to miss him. But other guys, it's going to be opportunities for some of these other guys to step up and make some plays.
Like I said, after the game, he kind of wants to be let off the leash more. Do you anticipate him still being on the snap count?
Well, that's something we'll talk about throughout the course of the week.
How has Aaron Banks progressed these last couple days?
He's doing better as well. So whether or not he's ready for Sunday remains to be seen. We'll give him throughout the course of the week.
We've talked a lot about Jordan running the ball. What did you think when he did run the ball and he put his shoulder down against the Washington safety? Is that, obviously you got the first down, so it paid off. Is that something that you're in favor of, though?
I mean, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. Obviously, that was a huge play, getting us down there and leading to a touchdown. So, yeah, ideally, in a perfect world, you give him a better play for the coverage. So he does not have to do that, and you can get somebody open. But I mean, we had nobody open on that, and it was a bad concept for the coverage. So that's one of the things that we've talked about. The thing that I really liked that he did was he was really decisive when he decided to take off and go. There was no hesitation, and I think that's what you got to do is when you recognize that your concept's not going to be great. Can you pull the ball down and get what you can? And since he came out healthy, I feel really good about it.
You said healthy there. Is that just a sign of how much better he's feeling, his legs are feeling than a year ago? Because it just seems like that was a play that you might not have been able to even think of last year.
I mean, he made even the third down late in the game where he hit Tucker off schedule. It was another good example of him extending a play using his legs, and I know he finished it with his arm, but those were two very important plays in the game because both of those third down conversions led to touchdowns.
Josh, 10 straight regular season games with a touchdown rushing, 11 straight come to the playoffs. What does that show you about him?
Well, how dependable he is. He's always available, and I love how he competes. And he's, unfortunately, we haven't had a lot of great running lanes for him yet. A lot of it's a byproduct, I think, how teams are playing us, really trying to emphasize and stop the run. But he's done a heck of a job getting a ton of yards after contact. So he's tough, he's durable. He's a guy that you always want to give him an opportunity once you get inside that 10-yard line where it can get really muddy and difficult because those safeties are so close to the action. But he's able to find a way to get in the end zone.
Hey Matt, what did you see on the two downfield balls to Golden? Why weren't Jordan and him able to connect on those?
Well, the first one was a play where, we told him to snap the ball. We thought there was 12 on the field. There was only 11. And I think sometimes that just he started looking left and then he came back right. And sometimes when you're throwing a deep ball, that's why it's so important to throw on time, on the correct timing and rhythm, because it's hard to sometimes make up that ground if you're late to it. And he thought he had a free play right there, and obviously we didn't. And do I think he can make that throw? There's no doubt. I know he can. But that one was just a little bit underthrown. And then the other one, the read route where we're calling it for quarters. We got the quarters coverage. I thought MG did a great job running this route. I think if we just put a little bit more air under that, then you have a different result. But those aren't those are easy throws by any stretch.
Right, I know those are high degree of difficulty, but also it's clear that Jordan really likes to throw the ball downfield, so it'd be nice if you. Are you okay with them? No, how frequently you guys want to be able to do that?
Yeah, I mean, we've had some good success. I mean, you look at the one that Malik made a hell of a catch. We hit Rome week 1 on a deep ball versus Detroit. So, yeah, as long as, and I think there's something to the defense recognizing that if given the opportunity, you're going to throw it down the field. So they got to defend. You always want to make the defense defend every blade of grass out there. And so if you're never throwing it down the field, then they don't have to worry about it too much.
Matt, what have you found to be the biggest benefit when you have extra time, per se, between games, whether it's for you guys as a coaching staff, or the players, both?
I would say for our guys to get healed up and healthy is the biggest benefit. Sometimes, from a coaching standpoint, you have too much time. You start doing stuff that is kind of outside your norm, and you can overthink things. But no, I just think the biggest benefit is for our guys.
Good.
All right, have a good one.